Do you realize that blacks are no one like black people? The Mexicans don't like them. The Hispanics don't like them. The whites don't like them. Good black people don't like them.
Exactly.
The Asians
Exactly.
don't like because you guys are so violent and
Jesse, you
complaining.
black.
Exactly.
And do you
Exactly.
Jesse,
realize?
you're black.
No. Do you realize that most people don't like you guys?
Oh,
You
I wonder why
people
that is.
because you're so
Exactly.
mean and complaining and nasty.
No, it's
Exactly.
because of
Crying all the
racism and
time.
white supremacy, Jesse. It's because of the white gaze
know
on
what?
the black body.
That bag you have over there, that cotton picking bag.
Yes.
How many white people do you know that had that same bag? That used that same bag to pick cotton?
Phil Robertson, you know who he is from Dynasty. He picked cotton. He's white. Remember him? Good man too.
Dude, I don't
But-
like you, but I like you. Golly. Because you say stuff where I'm like, I don't.
Why don't you
Where
like
do you
me?
get this from?
Why don't you like me?
No, I'm sorry. Let me be clear now.
Yeah.
I actually,
You totally like me.
I do. I
Yeah.
do, which is I don't get it. I don't get it with you. But I just want to ask you something.
Because
Let
I
me
want
let me
black
ask you this.
people to be strong
Let-
morally.
then if you want them to be strong,
family,
if you want them to
and
be
country.
strong, then you have to be honest about the experience of being black in America.
That's
You're not being
crazy.
honest about being.
I read that you are excited that a sister, Meghan, is it Markle? Markle, and she's engaged to Prince Harry. And she is part black and part white, right?
Yeah, half and half.
Why are you happy about that?
Just like in Hollywood here and in Washington, D.C., it's time for, a little change in the matrix. It's time for Buckingham Palace to get with the program and let some non-white bread, royal, staunch, regular people in, like Diana was a commoner,
Right.
and she got in there and made a huge difference in the monarchy and with what she did with children and things like this. And I just think that it's time for everybody to loosen up a little bit over there in the palace. And it's not the first. I mean, Queen, what was Charlotte or whatever was mulatto, as they call it, and she was married to a royal, I believe, way back. So they didn't let another one in until now. And plus, black people like to get excited when we see a come up.
I said no to this engagement. That he
Based
should
on her nationality?
no, he should call it off and not do it.
Because
This woman, she's an angry woman. She's been married before. She's older than him.
Yeah.
So she's like buying a used car. Prince Harry has never been married before. He doesn't know how to deal with an angry black woman. He is a fundraiser. And so he needs to marry someone a little younger than him or his age, who is a fundraiser, who's never been married before, never had children. I don't think this woman had. Does she have children?
no children.
Yeah. And so she's older, and a man should never, ever, 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 but never marry an older woman. He's married his mother. And so he's going to have a mother-son relationship. It's not going to work.
Well, he doesn't have a mother now, does he?
He will now with her.
Well, maybe that's what he wants.
So are you okay with him marrying a woman that's older than him who's been married before? Because women who's been married before are already angry. That's why they're divorced.
And the same
he's-
goes for men who've been married before,
Right.
too.
Women
Because
should
when a
marry
woman
men.
and a man break up, a woman is devastated. Before a man is catastrophic. And we can get over it. We still know where everything is in the house. But a man having to pick up the pieces after a divorce is pretty much a disaster until he can pull himself together.
But that's
And
a
I'm go-
weak
I wanna
man, though. That's
comment-
not, a real man don't have a problem like that.
Well, that's your opinion, and
No,
you
no,
have the
no.
right
weak
to it.
men whimper like that.
That's your
over
opinion.
divorce.
That's your opinion.
A
But
real
let me
man
say
move
something
on.
about the used car
Right.
or a rescue dog, for example. You could get a brand new puppy that's untrained. It's going to chew up your shoes and pee all over the house. Or you can get a dog that's been around and knows how to behave and knows not to pee in the house and knows not to chew up, and it could be the best dog you ever had. You could buy a brand new car and it could be a lemon. You could get a used car and God bless, that car might carry you through your life. If he decided that, you know, he wants to step out of the box. See, he's been the oddball son all his life. He's the redhead. They thought that he was Diana's lover's son. They thought he wasn't really Prince Charles's son.
That's why
We
he
don't know.
deserves a good chance in life. He should marry fresh.
I think his chance in life is already set in stone.
As far as family, you know, as far as marriage, do you agree he should marry men and women who've never been married, who don't have children, should marry fresh? They shouldn't marry has-beens.
But
People who've already have
everybody,
problems.
some people need a little guidance. Maybe Harry wants the knowledge of a mature woman.
Oh, that's
I was
not
trying to
good.
explain that to your engineer over there about the benefits of being with an older woman.
about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday again. It's amazing how fast time goes by. It seems to be going fast to me, and I don't quite know why it goes so fast, but whatever. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. What does evil look like inside of you? What does evil look like inside of you? Isn't that amazing? What does it look like? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're like busy doing whatever it is you're doing, consider suicide, smoking pot, buying fentanyl. You heard that Joe Biden is now pretending he's going to do something about the border, so you're rushing the borders right now, just in case he does do something, because elections are coming up real soon. And you're rushing the borders, trying to hurry up and get over here. You can be listening to the show on your iPhone or your iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? So it's Thursday again. And for the new listeners who might not be quite as familiar with the show as the old listeners, we take all calls, but I get several calls from Bible thumpers during the week and blah, 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 which is fine. But when I try to communicate with the Bible thumpers, it's difficult because Bible thumpers are intellectual and they already have another scripture in their mind, and so they're not really listening to the back and forth discussion. They're just ready with another scripture. And so it occurred to us, what can we do about that? We got to look out for the Bible thumper too. And we came up with the idea, let's have a Bible thumper day. And we take all calls, but we definitely take the Bible thumpers. And we have a little bit more time with them. And today is Bible Thumper Thursday.
It's a scene you don't expect to see at a Sunday church service, a fight in the pulpit.
It's a disgrace.
Let me hear you speak in tongues.
And I read the Bible. cover to cover. Very, very close to my mom, a real mama's boy. You will emerge from that as an atheist.
What did you just say? What a mess. What a mess. 888-7753-773. And there is a line open if you want to jump in there, folks. I want to read something to you. It's short. You know it's not going to be that long because I'm black. And I can't read that well or fast. So it's short. But I think it brings home the point, at least for one or two people, that I always try to bring up. And it is in the Word, it's in the Bible. And I want to know from you, what do you think this means? This is from 2 Corinthians 10:5. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that set itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captivity every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Every thought we bring into captivity to make it obedient to Christ. Every thought. I wonder what you think that, and I know people read the Bible, but they miss these kinds of things. They miss these type of things to bring every thought to make them obedient to God, bring them into captivity. And I want you to know, do what you want, of course, but I want you to know this is so true and so deep that all human beings miss it for a minute until they stay with it, and they start to get hold of what it really means. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that set itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captivity every thought to make it obedient to Christ. If you can just, and it takes years, I understand. It doesn't need to take years, but it takes years for a lot of people. And the reason is that the average, all people are so identified and addicted and identified with thoughts. It's hard to believe that you're not your thought. That you're not your thought. It's hard for people to believe that they don't even create a thought. Even the practical thoughts that we get are created by God. We don't even create our own practical thought. But the hardest thing in the whole wide world for the average male or female to believe that you're not your thought. A thought or thoughts are just thoughts. That's all it is. Think about it. Look at yourself. Really look at the thought you get. All of your thoughts are about the past or the so-called future. They're all the same. And there's no life in them. There's nothing good in them. There's nothing. They're just thoughts. But you're so invested in them and so overreaction reactionary to them, it's hard to believe that you're not your thought. How do you accept that? And if I'm not my thought, then who am I? They say. Thoughts are just thoughts. And thoughts have no meaning. And thoughts are just about the past or future, which doesn't exist at all, because whatever happens has happened now. It doesn't even happen in the past. When it happened now, and when that now is gone, that is gone. But your enemy, who disguises himself as you, will always bring back thoughts to you. Thoughts. And you think that you're coming up with them and you believe them and you overreact. You overreact to them. And you can just keep reliving them in your mind only. Only. Because your hell is inside of you and no one else is to. You are the cause and the effect of your own hell. Think about that one. You are the cause and effect of your own hell. Nobody else is. You can't blame no one for your hell, for your misery, for your fears, for your jealousy, your doubt, your strife, your loneliness, your suicidal thoughts, your anger, your fear, everything. It's you. You are the cause and effect for your own hell. Nobody else is. Think about smoke on that one. And the first thing you want to do is blame someone else for your own misery. You made me feel that way. No, you didn't make me feel that way. I was already that way. And then husband and wife get together and they are expecting one or the other from each other to save each other from their hell. You can't save nobody from their hell. They have to want to overcome their hell. Thoughts are just thoughts. If you have to say that to yourself, you need to remind yourself, thoughts are just thoughts. The answer to everything is in the now. It's in the present. It is nowhere else but in the present. The answer to everything is in the present. It ain't nowhere else but in the present. It's not in thoughts. It's not in thoughts. It's not in your mind. Bring every thought into captivity. If you want your misery to end really fast, because it can, bring every thought into captivity. Bring every thought into captivity. You can be free just like that. It's so unfortunate. May I use that word, but I'm not sure if it's the right word, because it might be fortunate because you may love your hell. So it might be fortunate for you and your hell. Thoughts are just thoughts. There's no answer. There's no answer, zero answer in thoughts, the past or the future, because it's an illusion. It doesn't even exist, but you're living in this hell, this cell of your mind, this prison of your mind, and you're roaming around in that prison trying to get the answer. And you're never going to get it because there's no answer. There's no answer in thoughts. Zero answer. Isn't that amazing? All of the answer to life is an eternal life and right now. Eternal life is always right now. And if you can just practice being present right now, practice being right now all the time, and practice being aware of those thoughts so you don't call them you, and so you don't fall for the emotions that come with them, you can be free. It is done. The devil has been defeated, but you don't believe it because you think you are and you are until you overcome the devil. But you think it's you. You don't know that you're being controlled. I want to just repeat that, and then I want to show you something else. Thoughts are just thoughts. It's just a thought. It's not true. There's no answer in thoughts, the past or the future, because the past and the future does not exist. It's an illusion. The answer to all issues, to all of your issues, is in the present. It's like right here, right now, all the time. If you could stay right here, right now with it, you'll be free. And free indeed. Isn't that amazing? Thoughts are just thoughts. And you are your own world. You're not the world out there. You're not the world inside of somebody else. You are your world. When will you stop listening to thoughts in your world and overcome them and live in the present, eternal life, right here, right now? That's so deep. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that set itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. It will obey. The thoughts will obey the light, and they will have to depart from you. Thoughts are just thoughts. And as long as you believe them, you never will know God. You can only believe one God. You can't believe both. Anyone that believes thought is believing evil. You're worshiping the devil. You are worshiping the devil and calling him God. You pray out loud. You pray in moaning and groaning, and you pray sad, Lord, help me prayers. And you pray, Lord, deliver me, save me, Lord, bring me. You pray and you cry and you pray and you cry and you get nowhere. And you're praying to the devil. I was counseling with a young man yesterday, and he said, I pray all the time. I pray. I'm a Christian. I pray. But they don't work. I'm still miserable because you're praying to the devil. There is no you to pray for. And so how are you moaning and groaning and carrying on and crying if there is no you? Who's been sad? I'm just so lonely. I'm just so this. Who are you talking about if there is no you? Listen, it's up to you. You can be free or you can stay in your hell. And I understand most people love their hell. Most people. Only a few. Only a few are going to come out of their hell. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know who you are at all. Zero. I want to know, is this really true or not, all right? It's Bible Thought for Thursday. I want to know, is this true? This is from TMZ. My producer gave me this morning, and I'm like, is that true? What the? During a leadership summit with Pastor T.D. Jakes, Denzel Washington had been invited to speak on his faith. Watch this from X.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Did y'all hear that? I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what he mean by that, what that mean, but apparently some people in the church understood because they praise God. Yeah, they're like, oh, yes. Can I hear that again, Hassan? Because I really want to, with a clear mind, hear him say that to see what he mean by that. This is from TMZ.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
I totally don't know what you're talking about. Now, I'm not at this point. I'm not saying that he's wrong or right about it. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense what he's saying. But he looked like he's pretty serious about saying it. He look at you with those grandma eyes. You just said something really deep. Grandma need glory for it, so she look at you and make sure you see her looking at you. Let me ask Hake what does it? Cause Hake is the host of the Hake Report here on this network, and a homegrown Christian, and he might know what that means. He's a homegrown Christian, and he's one of the experts. So if ever I needed the experts' help, I need it now. And Hake is here.
Morning.
La 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 la.
That's right.
What does Denzel mean by that? Do you know?
It's vague enough that I feel like I sort of know what he's talking about.
Do I need to replay it?
One more time after I try to explain it.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah, I still have the wet look on my hair. So when, you're comfortable in life, complacent, the devil lets you be like all comfortable and complacent, and you're a comfortable slave, spoiled in life. The devil kind of seems like he's leaving you alone. You're not tormented, but you're not living right. That's how I take what he said about when the devil leaves you alone, you're doing something wrong, because you're caught up in what are you reading? You don't look like you're. You're caught up in excitement over some girl that you're with, or you're living all happy because you're drunk all the time, or whatever.
Right.
Eating all the time, just always distracted and quote unquote comfortable, and it feels like the devil's leaving you alone. Whereas, say you're facing your issues and not indulging in your issues, then you feel the torment of the devil inside you going crazy.
It didn't sound like he was saying that. He might have been that. No. I don't want to just say no to it.
Right.
He might be right.
Uh-huh.
I'm just missing what he's saying. Because he said something like, well, when you try to do something, then the devil gets you.
Yeah, when the devil gets you when you're doing something right. When the devil goes after you when you're doing something right.
Like what?
Like standing up for righteousness and all these people going crazy at you.
Can we hear that again from TMZ?
Oh, this is TMZ?
Yeah.
Ah.
Hassan?
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Based.
He said when the devil come at you, maybe you're trying to do something right. when you're doing wrong, the devil will not come at you, right? That's what he said in the beginning, right?
Right.
When you're doing wrong, the devil just don't come at you. But when you try to do some right, the devil come at you.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, right?
Yeah.
You're not sure?
Well, you're saying it in a different way from
Then
what
he said. Let me hear it again, son. I mean, Hassan.
A fourth time.
Right. I wonder, because it doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's kind of like a riddle.
Joel said, no, that's not what it means, too. I think that's what he said.
He's referring to my point, or?
I don't know. What are you saying, Joel? Let's hear it again, son. I mean, Hassan.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong.
You know you're doing wrong.
I'm not done now.
The devil
you know, the devil goes, oh, no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. right. Don't you bother him. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Maybe. See, maybe.
Maybe what?
He didn't say necessarily the devil is coming at you because you're doing something right. The devil could be coming after you for some other reason, but it could be because you're doing something right. So you're...
You're saying you both are over...
Complicating?
Uh-oh.
Now we got to get Joel in here.
Come in for a minute, Joel, before the break. Come on in right now.
Don't dilly-dally.
Right. Don't be trying to act like you don't want to come in. So what is this? This is Joel. He's an expert here, too.
Joel Friday TV.
Joel Friday TV. What is he saying?
This game became so complicated. So he's basically saying if you're not living right, the devil is not after you because he doesn't have to worry about you because you're not doing anything that's gonna affect him. But if you're living right, he's gonna go after you because he doesn't want you to do right. He doesn't want you to do good. This is as simple as that.
Say that again.
So if you're not living right, the devil leaves you alone because you're not a threat to him.
Because you're not living right.
Right, you're not a threat to him.
And then but he didn't say living right.
But if you're living right, the devil comes
doing
after
something
you.
right.
He said doing something right.
Right. Okay. So if you're doing something right, the devil comes after you because you're a threat to him in the devil's kingdom.
Like what, for example, doing something right?
Whatever. Like if you're trying to follow God, overcome, the devil's gonna attack you 10 times harder because he doesn't want you to overcome.
He did leave it kind of vague and open.
It ain't vague.
No, but he wasn't specific about what you're doing right and devil coming after you, what that even means. Because that's why the blacks were all excited about it. You know, the Christians are like, oh, yeah, these devils, these white devils.
Let's play it one more time. Let's play it one more time.
Not necessarily, but you know what I mean. Or haters. We don't have time.
Oh, the break.
Oh, okay.
We want to play it a fifth time.
We're going to come back. We're going to play it one more time, and then your phone calls, all right? At Super Chats. 888-7753. 53773. When he said it, he looked at everybody like grandma looked like grandma said something deep. He looked at everybody, but sure, grandma acknowledged.
He knows how to deliver it in a way that makes it sound so true.
That's for sure.
But why is it so confusing then?
It's not.
Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. No. If you can you can hear. I want to play. I'm gonna skip the announcement for this time and everything, so I can try to get some understanding about what this man said. And then I'm gonna get to your phone call. I want to play one more time Denzel Washington from TMZ. This is from TMZ. During a leadership summit with Pastor T.D. Jake, Denzel Washington had been invited to speak on his faith. And we played this thing at least 3 or 4 times already. And I got everybody, the experts here, trying to understand. Here's Denzel Washington from X.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. The devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't bother him. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
It's a little dramatic. I will say, because he's an actor, but he's saying exactly just as simple as when you're not doing right or not trying to do right, the devil is not worried about you because you're not a threat to him. And if when you're doing right and you're trying to overcome or work on yourself, the devil is attacking you because he doesn't want you to overcome. Follow God. That's it. We don't got to watch it no more.
and James, you say?
It's kind of a feel-good statement.
That's probably true.
Yeah, it's vague enough that you can just be kind of wondering about whether you're doing wrong or right, even still.
What the?
Because he said maybe. And that's true.
Denzel said maybe?
Yeah. He said maybe it's because you're something to that effect. Maybe it's because you're doing something right.
What Denzel said, maybe, and I'm leaving it wide open. I'm not making any foregone conclusions on this with Denzel, but it does make sense.
Then maybe I'm the only one that's lost. Everybody else got it.
Right.
I think it's kind of unfalsifiable.
Yeah, it is somebody fiber. What
Anybody else backing me up here?
Say what you said again. No, that's my fault. I was not paying close attention to what Joel said just now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Because you sound like Denzel.
No, I was looking up conversely.
Oh.
Because it's.
Well, what does conversely? What does conversely mean?
I don't know, but
I think those gym shoes.
When I was in
Converse.
When I was in my freshman year of high school, we learned geometry, and we had converse, inverse, and contrapositive. And converse meant something. If something, then something. But if A, then B. Conversely, if something, but I don't know how it gets. I don't know if he probably used conversely correctly. It's a nice word, Denzel.
Jay trying to brag. When he was in high school, he took geography.
He knew that.
We didn't take no.
He's so smart.
He took geography and it meant this and that and that.
I just don't remember what any of it means, though.
Oh, amazing.
Anyway.
Sean, my producer want to add to this, and then I want to take some calls. What do you say, Sean? This is my producer, and we're the experts.
So there's a little bit more to this story. Remember the Will Smith slap of Chris Rock?
Who will forget that?
Right? So Denzel was there, and Will Smith was very upset that night, allegedly, all allegedly.
Oh, Denzel was there?
He was there, and he tried to comfort.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to comfort Will Smith, and he said, when you're at your top of your game, that's when the devil's going to attack you. When you're at the top of your field, at the top of your best moments. Is when the devil's going to attack you. So this is him explaining what he meant by that.
And what did he mean? Oh.
This clip is him.
So when Smith slapped that man because he was at the top of his game?
Right. So people heard about him. People heard about his advice to Will Smith. And then during this summit, they asked him to explain that more.
Oh.
They asked him to explain what he meant when he said to Will Smith, when you're at the top of your game, the devil's going to attack you. But my issue with this clip is that he's assuming that we should be looking for what's right and wrong in life. This is like his shortcut to knowing when you're right and when you're wrong.
Oh.
But we should, we shouldn't be looking for what's right and wrong in life because we don't know.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? So, and also the whole dramatic part of it, like.
Yeah, he looked over like grandma.
That was a very diplomatic thing to say to Will Smith, because he knew that Will Smith wouldn't really understand it, like we don't. But it would sound kind of nice.
You guys don't.
It would sound kind of nice.
It was Will Smith smacked the other boy.
Right.
Who did he say it to, the Will or the guy that got smacked?
Will.
He said it to Will Smith.
Will.
Oh, but didn't Will Smith slap somebody?
Right.
And then, but how would that? Why he said to Will and not to the other guy?
Exactly. He's suggesting that Will Smith is right.
Will's he's at the top of his game. He's successful right now, and then the devil's trying to bring him down and make him angry to lose his cool so he can lose his success.
I know it just believe it or not, it just got more complicated.
No, I think it was a nice diplomatic statement. It didn't mean much, but it was like you didn't have to give in to that temptation to get all mad and slap him.
But why he didn't say it to the man that got smacked? You the one that got smacked.
Chris Rock is not as much of an actor as Will Smith. Will Smith and Denzel are actors. More than comedians.
Right.
So they're more brothers.
Oh. Okay.
They're more like serious people.
Well, and again, I'm leaving it open. I'm not saying the guy is right or wrong in what he said, because I don't understand what he said.
I gotta leave.
Listen, I need you guys to be here for 2 calls only.
Okay.
All right. Let me go to Daniel, first-time caller out of Georgia. Georgia, on my mind. Daniel, welcome to the show. You're on with Hake, Joel, and Jesse.
Oh, wow. Mr. Jesse, it's an honor to actually get to talk to you, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
And let me start off by saying, hey, we're going to get that wall back up.
The wall up.
But hey, Mr. Joel, I think he hit it on the head. I think that's what Denzel was actually trying to say, that sometimes when you're on the right path, you're a threat to Satan because, I guess I can't really say you because, nothing seems to ever distract you or throw you off your game. But if you're paying attention to what God has in store for you, it seems like a lot of roadblocks, a lot of things start to come into your way to try to knock you off your path. And I think that's what he's saying. If you're already dwelling inside of the devil's work, he's already got you, so you're not a threat to him. He doesn't even have to pay you any attention. You're doing his work for him. But if you try to step outside of those bounds and you try to do the righteous thing, he's going to try to grab you and pull you back in.
Thank you.
At least cause a distraction. So I think Mr. Joel was right.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I thought I was going crazy.
And you agree with that too, Hake?
Say that again?
Oh, my God.
I was reading chats for and against Joel.
But
Will Smith.
But Mr. Jesse, I was calling because you always speak about forgiving your mother.
Yes.
And I've done that. But I actually, true story. Before I even started listening to your program, I'd done it, and things did start to get better. But the more I listened to your show, and the more I started going back, because I was one of those kids who had a household where the father was out of bounds a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like I've had arguments and things with my wife, and I know you said that's just the evil nature of my mother inside of me. But and I can see how it affects I have two sons now, and I can see how it affects them. But in doing so, I realized the things that I thought I never actually saw my dad hit my mom, but I've heard the arguments, and my dad was a fighter, so in my head, I saw something with my ears, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And my whole life, I went around thinking that my dad was abusive physically, and now it's like, well, if my dad had one of those very, stern, deep, rich, aggressive voices when he was upset. So with hearing it, and my mom's she's not even 5 feet. She's a small woman, so you would just think that you know what's going on. But then also now, as I've gotten older and I get into it with my mom, well, I was getting into it with her a lot. I could see how she's kind of antagonistic, and she's kind of a holier than thou type personality at times.
Yeah.
And even trying to explain that, it starts an argument, because it's, you can't tell me this. I know this. I know that. I was this and I did that. And I can see how, like, when my wife does, how I get upset. So it's like, well, if she's pushing his buttons and he gets like that, as a child, I'm only seeing little bitty mom versus the big bad wolf, because I've always known my dad. He's a fighter. He's an intimidating guy. You know what I mean? So like, your mind plays tricks. So I always believe she was always right. My mom would never do anything, and my mom did the best she could raising us. But she comes from a mother from a broken home. It's that same thing that you always thought. It's a trauma effect, and it just generation.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point, because all of my siblings, we all have. I have three. That we all have something that's like her that has hampered a relationship.
You got her evil spirit.
And right, in one way or another, like the way that I do. And my mom clinged on to, well, I should say I probably clinged on more to my mom because I don't know why. But I was, like, in the beginning of my life, I grew to be an athlete, but I was more of an artist. I love to draw and I love to paint. And my dad was not one of the, like I said, my dad was a very macho guy. We're not doing that shit, excuse my language. We're not doing that. We're going to play football. We're going to do this,
That's right.
Like, yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
And my mom always thought that, no, you like to paint. You paint. You're an artist. You be an artist. So I think that's how I got connected to her, is just off of that. Like, she understands what I want to do.
Well, what it was, she was turning you against your father, and you didn't realize it when you were a kid.
And as I grow, she needed somebody, and I'm more like, I guess, I was just a kid who just wanted to have fun. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to hang. I just liked people. And I come from a multiracial family. But anyways, going back, but like I was saying, as I grew older, I started to see and listen to you more and more. I began to see things different. And not only that, but when I say I hated my dad, I hated him, and more so because I became a fighter. So I wanted to just be able to see how tough he really was. It was like, you could pick on a lady, but let's see what you could do with me. But the more I look back at it, everybody else talks about how much my dad loved his boys. He loved his boys. He loved his boys. He loved his boys. He loved his boys. And
fathers
all of my
love their
cousins-
children. It's the mother who turned the fathers away from the children away from the fathers.
And oh man. So, it just sucks to know that I hated somebody so long. And you start to, I can see myself in him a lot as I've gotten older. And it's just one of those things that I don't know how to, one, forgive myself for hating somebody so much. And now as I'm growing older too, I've built out, so I look a lot more like him, so I can't even, you can't escape it. So every time you look in the mirror, it's like shit. Like I'm constantly reminded. And he passed when I was a kid. So
man,
I never had the opportunity to ever, clear the air with him. And when it goes back to my mom, like I was saying, I forgave her. But the more I listen to you, the more I start understanding more of what happened with me, and it reignited like emotions of anger. And it's like, well, how do I, if you're saying forgive, do I go back to her now and have a true conversation and say why why I'm upset, or do I just leave it because I've already forgiven and just let it go? Like, what do I do from there?
How old are your sons?
Oh man, I've got a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Oh, okay. So have you gone to your mother and said, I'm sorry for resenting you for turning me away from my father, impose your will on me?
I've never said those words, no.
What did you say to her when you went to her?
When she was trying to have a conversation, I was like, look, there's no need. I forgive you for anything that you've done. There's no real need to go into detail and discuss it. I know that you were trying to do the best. It's just what you thought was the best wasn't best for me. You raised me to be a good person, but not a good man. And
she didn't raise you to be a good person either. She is evil. An evil person cannot raise another person to be a good person. That only comes from God.
Understood. Well, that's what it felt like. She was doing the best she could with what she knew.
Absolutely,
so,
I agree with that.
So it's like I can't fault somebody for trying to do something they don't know how to do.
Right.
Which is the reason why I really felt so connected to you and what's the dude who passed, Kevin Samuels. I found out about him last year too. It's like you're giving people the hard truth and what they need, and it's like, hey man, I want to be a good. Before anything, one, I want to be committed to Christ, but I want my sons to. I don't want my sons to ever see me in a light that I saw my father, and I just want to be the best man so that I could raise good men.
Well, here's what I recommend. Here's what I recommend. I would recommend that. So you went to your mother and told her you were sorry for resenting her, right?
I told my mom that, well, she was trying to have a conversation with me. And, like, we clash. And, like I said, the more now, and this conversation, let me say, it happened before I found your show. So something in me wanted me to just put it to bed because I'm tougher on my boys, and she's a soft person, and she doesn't like the fact that I'm like, no, I'm not raising boys, I'm raising young men. If I keep seeing them as boys, I'm not going to give them the respect that they need in order to be out in the world.
Let me tell you,
she doesn't like that.
But it's not even her business. You need to keep her away from your sons because she's going to do to them what she's done to you. She will turn them against you. And she'll be giving them ice cream when you tell them not to. She'll sneak and give it to them and tell them not to tell you.
Understood.
So you need to, but what I recommend that you go and do it right. I recommend you have a sit-down talk. Hey, mother, I really want you to know I've been resenting you. I realize now I resented you. I know now you did the best. You didn't have it. You did the best you could. I'm sorry for resenting you. And then God will forgive you, and He was going to change your heart from the anger to love, which is His love, real love. And then I would do the silent prayer and just start watching those thoughts, and they will be taken away from you.
What? All right, so let me say this too. All right, so her health isn't the best. So, like, it's like I'm stuck between trying to do that and trying to make sure that it doesn't cause more complications with her health.
No,
Like,
you need
do you
to.
still
If she's having bad health, you better hurry up and do it before she die. I will hurry up to that bedside, Mama. I know.
If I know that something could really hurt somebody, how is that a real benefit? Like if you're saying go and do it, and you know that it could damage somebody.
Because you're not responsible for how someone else feel, and your mother might not be ready to overcome her hell, and she'll use that against you to make you not forgive, and she'll die and leave you right in hell. You need to go and forgive her, and you're not responsible for for her overreacting or reaction to it. That's on her, not you.
I understand. So just go to her and say, hey, listen, I forgive you for turning me away from my father?
Yes. Because
all right, go ahead.
That's exactly what she did to you.
And then but now what happens when because she's going to combat that? Well, you don't understand this, and because she loves to give me. You ever talk to somebody, no matter what you do, there's no real, what do you call it? Well, they take full responsibility for what it is they did. It's always, well, let me tell you what happened. Well, let me tell you about this.
Absolutely.
Well, let me tell you about that. Like, that happens, and see, that's where, like, as a person, like, I've never dealt with people who, like, listen, I don't, like, if this is the end result, then this is the end result. Who, why, what, and when doesn't really matter.
Here's what I recommend. When she does that, don't argue with her about it. Be done with the conversation. Just say, I want to.
If I just leave it, like, how does that help me get it off my back? Like, if I win,
it's gonna be taken off. It's gonna be taken off your back because God is gonna take it off because you have gone to her and forgiven her, and as you forgive her, God, will forgive you, and the load will be taken off.
Okay.
No human being can take the load off. God take the load off. That's why he said, apologize when we are judging, when we're playing God, and he will forgive us. And so because she's done this to you, you've been resenting her, and that's what judgment is. So now you're apologizing for resenting her playing God. God will remove the load from your back.
Okay. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
And now that you understand what your father went through with her, because it was hard for him to deal with her. You didn't understand that at the time. And the fight was between the mother and the father had nothing to do with you anyway. But now that you understand your father's situation, you'll naturally forgive him and you'll be fine.
So I don't have to do anything as far as, like, go up to the cemetery and pray down there with him or like
no.
Okay.
Not at all. Just remember, just realize this is what my father was going through.
Well, then how do I forgive myself for, when I tell you, Mr. Jesse, I hated the man. I loathe.
I understand. Can you hold for me? Let me take a quick break.
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. we're going to get to all your calls and your super chat. Quick break. Hake news. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. The debate mess. People can't pay attention, including Hake, apparently. And overdoses on the rise. Thanks, Obama. And did I mention the assassination attempt over Slovakia or something like that? Tom Brady's children are weak, according to Tom Brady. It's terrible. This is and new Miss USA people are resigning and then one taking over after the other. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is already Bible Thumper Thursday, May 16th, AD 2024. By the way, this happens to be the third Thursday of the month, ladies. That means Women's Forum is tonight, 7 p.m., just in 12 tender hours, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. I don't know about tender hours, but so make sure you do join Jesse Lee and your fellow ladies. We use the term both loosely and wholeheartedly about you ladies. Women's Forums are third Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/events if you need more info. All right. Pay attention if you tend to be easily distracted during work. Look, squirrel. You're not alone, says CNN, Commie Nonsense Network. Medical experts say our attention spans, our being human beings, I guess, are getting shorter. But they recommend a few mindful practices that can help increase your focus. So go head on over to Commie Nonsense website to find out about it. Just kidding. Don't. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Hake Report if you want to go check out the Hake Report. Or just call JLP for counseling. Rebuildingtheman.com/counseling. Debate mess. Crooked Joe Biden and our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, have accepted an invitation from Commie Nonsense Network themselves, CNN, to debate on June 27th, which is an historically early showdown, or is it a historically early shutdown, that will set the tone for final months of the 2024 campaign. The debate will be held at CNN's Atlanta studios. No audience present. Isn't that ridiculous? An anomaly in debates between crooked Joe Biden and, well, presidential candidates in general. Republicans have for months been piling on pressure for evil Joe to debate Trump after the president offered non-committal answers about whether the face-offs would take place. Several sources say the debate had actually been in the works for weeks, as the campaigns separately came to the conclusion that debates over the summer would benefit both their candidates and the American voters, as if they care about the American voters. Trump might. Nice. There's also a second debate happening September 10th on ABC. So anyway, it's the first time Trump and Biden have come to face since the 2020 debates. And Trump's pending legal cases, Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war drama could come up as potential question topics. RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the anti-vaxxer, could be feeling a little left out, saying Trump and Biden are colluding to keep him out of the debates. Aw. I don't know. He seems like a conspiracy theorist. Trump wouldn't collude with Biden to keep RFK out, would he? Maybe. Speaking of the election season, the so-called Supreme Court paved the way yesterday for Louisiana to use a congressional map that adds a second majority black, which is to say Democrat, district for this year's election. This could help Democrats gain one seat in the House, increasing the party's chances of winning control of the lower chamber. And I think that has to do with the phony topic, the phony notion of voting rights. Give me a break. Overdoses are on the rise, according to the CDC. Drug overdose deaths dropped, though, by 3% last year. That's the first decline since 2018. So they've been on the rise, but they dropped by 3%, according to this scared woman-led unchristian CDC. Could partly be attributed to fewer deaths from synthetic opioids like fentanyl or overdose prevention, but experts say it's still too soon to draw concrete conclusions. So it's catastrophically high, according to one expert. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. My brand new biblical question: what does evil look like inside of you? What does evil look like inside of you? An amazing question. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're like busy running around at the beach or whatever. You just can't sit and watch it live. Of course, you can podcast the show, but you can listen to it on your iPhone, iPad, anywhere by calling 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And we're going to get to your super chats. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Thursday. It's the second hour of the show today already. It is Bible Thumper Thursday.
It's a scene you don't expect to see at a Sunday church service, a fight in the pulpit.
It's a disgrace.
Let me hear you speak in tongue.
And I read the Bible cover to cover. Very, very close to my mom. A real mama's boy.
Oh, mess.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
What did you just say? What? I want to go back to Daniel, first time I call out of Georgia. And Daniel is trying to understand and how to deal with the mother thing, the father himself, and so that he can finally get this thing right. Hey, Daniel?
Yes, sir.
One thing I want to tell you about when you go and forgive your mother, have no expectation at all. Don't expect her to apologize. Don't expect her to admit anything or not to admit anything or not to apologize. You are only going to her to forgive her. God said that before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. And for you to enter into the kingdom within, you got to forgive. So you're just going there to say, hey, I'm wrong for resenting you. I'm sorry for it, right? And don't expect her, if she fall dead, there's nothing you can do about it. Or if she doesn't, or if she play game, let her have her own hell, let her own game, and you go live your life.
Yeah, but I mean, what dude wants to see their mom break down? Like, what do you do if your mom breaks down? You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do if you see that? Like,
you just watch her.
Looking at it?
Yeah, you just watch her like you're watching a movie. She's only acting out because she want to maintain control over you. That's not the real her doing it, but that's how she has been able to control everyone.
But that's kind of saying that people don't have emotions and that they hear what you're saying and accept it as the truth, that it won't hurt them.
No, it will only hurt them if they don't want the truth.
You've never been told something and you're like, man, I didn't know that I caused that on you, and you feel bad that you caused grief or pain to somebody because it wasn't your intention?
I have, but I wanted to hear the truth, though. I didn't get mad at the truth for telling me that. I was glad to see it. And your mother will only get angry and break down if she doesn't want to hear the truth from you. But if you want to hear it, she's like, well, you're right, son. I did do that. I'm sorry. She's not going to break down because she's welcomed the truth. But if you break down, because emotions of human beings are evil, all human beings who have emotions, so-called good ones or bad ones, they are evil, and that's how they control you with evil emotions and thoughts.
So if she says, well, what did I do? So if I say, hey, listen, I want to forgive you for turning me away from my dad, and she says, how?
Well,
how,
not
how
I
did
want
do
to
that?
forgive you. Just say, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for turning me away from my father. And I remember when my father wanted me to play football, but you wanted me to do art.
But is that wrong for her to want me to do what I want to do? Like not do what somebody else is saying I got to do?
But you were not, at the time, you were not doing what you wanted to do. You were doing what she wanted you to do, and she was turning you away from your father to prevent you from doing what he wanted to do, because in both ways you were not yourself yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because, well, I've got two boys now, and one likes sports and one doesn't. One likes a lot of, like, arts, like I like art, and one doesn't. One likes being aggressive. Like, so it's the same. Like, my older brother was into sports early on.
Right.
Like, so it's the same. Like, so should I force my both of my sons to do sports because one likes sports?
No, you shouldn't force either one of them to do anything like that. Let the ones that want to do sport. Let the ones that want to do art.
That's what my mom did, though.
But don't let your wife interfere to try to make them do what she wants them to do and not what they want to do.
Nothing, but that's what I'm saying. My mom was trying to say there's nothing wrong with me liking art, and if I like art, then do art. You don't have to play football. You don't have to.
But your father was wrong too for trying to make you do sport. He should not have imposed that on you. He should have left that let you make that decision as well as you got older.
Right, but my dad is one of those people. Hey, look, you need to be playing sports. Only punks do that type of stuff.
Right, but he was wrong for that, and that's why you have to forgive him.
Right, but then so that's saying that my mom isn't wrong though.
Your about the art stuff.
Right.
So you're saying you told your mother you want to play art. I mean, you want to do art, and she said, "Okay, go do it."
Yeah, she was like, "Well, then stay inside and do your art, paint, color."
But that's not what you were forgiving her for. You're giving her for playing victim with your father, and also turning you away from him.
Yes. And
by making your father seem like the victimizer, when the battle that they were having was between the two of them, it had nothing to do with you at all. But the fight was with them and not you, and you should not have been a part of it in any form from your father or from your mother. Because you just wanted your parents. You didn't care about the fight.
True. But, so, all right, so you know how they say you marry your mom. So I recycled the same, my home was broken, so I married somebody who had a broken home, and we're two people trying to figure it out with each other, but she has a lot of similarities to my. Now, let me make sure that I say this. She's an exceptional person. She's doing everything that she can to try to right her wrongs too.
Right.
But like, how do I all right, so there's been points in time where you know how like you have misplaced anger, so you're taking out what somebody else did on somebody else, or because they're doing things that remind you of what this person does.
Yes.
This is all like. And it's stuff that happened throughout our relationship. But again, after listening to you, I can understand I'm repeating my life as an adult. I'm repeating what I saw as a child, as an adult, with my wife.
Right.
Like, so we're doing the same things that I saw happen in our house. How do I forgive myself and for putting my wife through that as well?
Well, I'm going to tell you that you are married to your mother. You married the woman you hated, and the cycle repeats itself, right? So here's, and when you say your wife, is your wife working on herself as well?
Correct.
She like God and forgiving her mother and her father and all that?
As soon as I started, I did it last year before listening to you, and when I found you, I took it to when I was like, dude, you have to listen to this. He's saying exactly what I was saying when I did this beforehand. It was almost like, I don't know, like after doing it, I did feel a sense of energy, and my life started to turn for the better. The way that I approached everything started turning. So I was telling my wife this, and then after she listened to you, she went and forgave her mom, and then she called her dad and forgave him because of the same thing. And then we two together have been working and doing everything to try to make sure that we understand, we have a better understanding of each other.
Yep.
And man, it's been Mr. Jesse, you are a blessed. I just want to make sure I say that to you, because if I don't ever get to speak to you again, I'm so honored that I got to talk to you, and you do not know how much of a blessing you've been to my life, especially somebody who, I mean, I've had uncles and things like that, but what I've received from you over under this past year, I felt like I've grown leaps and bounds as a man. And I don't like to say Christian, but as a follower of God and Christ, and I thank you so much for what you've done for not only me, my wife, but our entire family.
Yeah.
Because I can see the changes in my oldest's energy.
Yes.
My son is still a little too young to really understand anything that goes on.
Right.
And man, that is a gift that I wish I could repay you somehow, but I will do God's work and put the energy back into the atmosphere, because you don't know how much you ministered to me, going from beta to an alpha. and I truly, I love my wife, and I love our family,
right on.
And I appreciate you for giving us the rightful order, because it's just like I kept telling her, no, God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, and she's coming to that and understanding that, and whatever I need, she's there. She's truly become that helpmeet that the Bible speaks of, and she's seen what she's apologized, because she's seen how her actions cause reactions and how the changes keeps on going. And every day, I mean, I wish you would have known us a good 8 months ago and see us now. And that's why I was coming to you about that, because now understanding and listening to you even more, and listening to other stories that people share and how they try to make excuses for what their mom did, because that was me. I went to counseling 15 years ago, and the counselor told me, man, your problem's not your dad. Your problem is your mom. And I'm like, F you, dude. Like, I'm telling you what my problem is. I'm telling you what I witnessed from growing up. You're not going to sit there and try to tell me my mom didn't do nothing. He's like, man, I hear you. Your mom is your problem. Man, F this, and never went back to counseling until maybe 7, 8 years later. And then once I started listening to you and somebody else says, it's like, all right, man, you can't, man, you kind of kick yourself like, man, if I'd have just followed those steps, 15 years ago, where would I be now? But I'm so honored to be able to be here now.
That's
I'm
right.
going to definitely take your advice.
Yeah.
And how do I get in touch with you guys, or do I get off the phone and then get in touch with counseling? I don't want to hold everybody else up. And anybody else on hold, I apologize.
If you want counseling,
for taking up so much time.
If you want counseling, you can call 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND, or go to rebuildingdemand.com and request counseling, and someone will get in touch with you.
Awesome. And if I want one, can I get an autographed book? I'll pay for the book, but can I get an autographed book?
Absolutely. Go to rebuildingdemand.com, and you can order all the books there as well, and we'll get them out to you.
All right. I appreciate you so much, Mr. Jesse.
You're welcome. But
I
let me
really
tell you,
man. God bless, and thank you, and thank your whole staff, man. You guys are all incredible. I listen to you guys all the time. You don't know how much. If no one else ever tells you guys, You guys are truly a blessing in my life. I've gotten more out of these 8 months than any years of church that I've ever gone to. And I feel like a new person. I feel like I can do all things through Christ. And I thank you guys for redirecting my life
You're
to
welcome.
Christ. I truly mean that.
But
Thank all of you guys.
You're welcome, man. But let me tell you this before we hang up, all right?
Yes, sir.
You're fortunate in that your wife is working on herself as well, because it would be extra hard if your wife was not working on herself, or you were not working on yourself and she was working on herself, because the darkness in the person that's not working on himself will hate the light in the person that was working on himself, and say, well, always try to stop you. He'll come at you and do whatever he can to stop you. So you're fortunate is that both of you are working on yourself. And the other thing is, here's what I highly recommend for now. Number 2, don't go out preaching at everybody. Don't tell them. You just quietly work on you. And then when God is ready for you to tell someone, he will put the word in your mouth. He will cause your tongue to move and speak. He will speak through you, and it will be to the person or people that want to hear and overcome. Because if you could go out, and I know how you feel, if you go out preaching, you're going to run into a lot of sons and daughters of the evil, including in your family members and your so-called friends, and they're going to try to stop you. They will join forces to try to destroy you. They're not ready for it. You will only give the truth to those who are ready.
Yes, sir. And
then the other thing about with you and your wife, and even in your own mind, as of this point, I want you to encourage you to cut this out. Never argue with the devil in your mind, and don't argue with the devil in your wife or anyone else. Stop the argument. Do not argue. And they're going to be trying to... Well, you're fortunate that your wife is, so it sounds like she's working on herself. She might not put you through this. But the devil want you to argue. Do not argue anymore. And if your wife get angry, hey, honey, you need to cut out. You see your anger there? And you can point that out, but don't try to prove it to her or anyone. Don't yell at her about it. Don't argue about it. Cut out the argument. It's going to blow your mind, Daniel. It's because the devil loves to fight. He stays alive by fighting in your mind and in other people, in their mind as well. So cut out the fighting. You don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Yes, sir.
That makes sense?
All the sense in the world.
And then the last thing you said before we went to break, that you hated yourself or you were angry at yourself or something?
Correct. Doing that with going against my dad again, and then you realize, and then again when I would get angry and all, I would just chalk it up to him, like he made me this way, and then I've always been like a fighter, not a bagger, but I hated bullies because I thought my dad was a bully.
Right.
So I was a reverse bully. I ended up being a bully technically because I went after bullies and always protected everybody in my family, and I always thought that my sense of strength was my anger, so I always fought against really releasing it because I thought that that's how I got my strength, was because I could tap into how much I hated him, and once I could get a hold of that, it's what gave me strength, but it made me a weak man because it made you too emotional, you know?
Yeah.
But that was the only way that I knew of a man, you know?
I understand.
So I was doing what was missing, what I perceived in my mind, and all of the things you hear about your dad and the things that you did get to see of him. So I thought that is what it meant. So if I did this, then I'm a man. And then you can't be like, he hated the fact that I was an artist because he thought that was soft. So I didn't want to be soft. So anybody in the outside world, nobody's going to ever be able to call me soft.
Right.
So,
and
if you think it, I'm going to show you that I'm not it. And I don't like that about myself. And then even having that aggression inside the house with my wife. Like, I just don't. It's not cool.
It was the same thing with your wife and your father, his wife. But let me ask, so you're angry at yourself about those things?
I'm angry at myself because I didn't get control of it earlier on, and I could have been living a better life. I've wasted so many years of my life.
How were you able to get it together when you didn't know? You didn't know. You did what you did, like your mother did what she did to you because she didn't know. Your father did what he did. How could you have gotten it together when you really just didn't know?
So there's a point in time, it's just like all sinners, where you know what you're doing is wrong, but you give into it anyway. You do it anyway, knowing that it's wrong.
That's a good point.
So it's like, I know that it's wrong, but for right now, F everything else, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do what I want to do. I'll deal with the consequences tomorrow.
So let me ask you this.
We're going to do this today.
Let me ask you this because of time.
Yes, sir.
Who is the self that you're angry at? Describe you. Tell me the person that you're angry at.
I'm angry at myself for being too weak to not.
No, I mean, who is self? Who are you?
I don't quite understand the question.
Who are you? You said you're angry at yourself, right? Who is the person that you're angry at?
Well, I guess according to you, it's going to be my mom because
no, not your mother. You said you were angry at you. Who are you?
I'm angry at my actions, the things that I was doing, and the fact that I couldn't. Well, I could have.
I know, but you said that you're angry at yourself, at you, right?
Correct.
Who is you?
I don't get that. Like, what do you mean?
Who are you?
I am Daniel.
That's your name.
I am a human being formed by two people.
That's you living in a body.
What is it, my evil, the evil nature?
No, I'm trying to understand.
I don't know. I don't understand this question, bro.
I'm trying to. You said you were angry at you. I'm trying to figure out who is it that you're angry at. Who is this person, this self that you're angry at?
I guess it's the facade of the person that I created to protect myself.
I know, but who are you? Though? You
ego.
still didn't tell me who you. You told me your name. You told me you were a human being, live in a body. Because
I'm a child of God.
And what is that?
That is a spirit, a vibrational being.
But who is the self, though, that you're angry at?
My thoughts,
Are you your thoughts?
I act out my thoughts.
Are you your thoughts?
When I want to, yes. In a sense, if I want to
You're
be a
not
monster,
your thoughts.
then I can be a monster.
But that's not you. That's the hell in you. It's not you. That's the devil in you. So my whole point, because of time, I want you to know that it's impossible for you to be angry at yourself because there is no self to be angry at. That's another lie from evil who caused you to do the things that you have done, and then he caused you to feel guilty and angry at yourself to try to make you believe that it was you that did it. It was never you. It's no self to do it. It was always evil in your mind and emotion doing those things. In all honesty, Daniel, the real Daniel has never done anything wrong in your life. It's impossible for you to do wrong. You're not a sinner. You're not a saint. You're neither right nor wrong. You're not guilty or innocent. There is no you. You've always been listening to evil, calling it you, but it was never. So God is never holding anything against you because he knows it was always that illusion of the devil in your mind and emotions. You just didn't know it, and you were taking credit for what the devil was done. The real you is a free man. You're not guilty of anything, and there's no reason for you to be angry at all at yourself because you never done anything wrong.
Wow.
You never done anything wrong. You're a free man. You just don't know it, but you're on your way to understanding.
All right, and you always say when you become one again with Christ, then you like yourself. You say now you don't sin. Would I have to go back through another baptismal type thing in order to do that, or is that just me accepting God as my head?
No, you're born of the Spirit. You don't need to go back to the water. The water is just an expression of what's happening on the inside. If you continue to observe those thoughts, and so that He can take them away from you, so you can see clearly they're not you. If you continue to watch, stay present. God is always in your present. He's not in the future or the past, because it doesn't exist anyway. But if you could just stay present, you're going to live paradise right here on earth, because you're not a sinner. You haven't done it. You never done anything wrong. Christ came and He wiped away all of your sins.
Gotcha. And all right, and then two, like you said, since you marry your mother, do I forgive my wife too? Like, how does that work? If you say that you marry your mom, if I forgive my mom, does that automatically clear the air with me and my wife?
Do you? Yes, it does. Because now that you've forgiven your mother, you're going to see that you married your wife, and you're not going to hold anything against her now, because you see what's going on. And seeing what's going on is what making you free from the hell that you've been living in.
Gotcha. And that'll automatically ripple effect to my boys.
Yes, sir. As long as your wife is working on herself, and she doesn't turn your boys against you.
Got it.
So do the silent prayer. Stay with that. Forgive your mother. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you turned me away from my father, and I'm sorry for resenting you. And don't.
So I'm apologizing
for resenting her. That's the only thing. Salvation's of the heart, right? And
yes, sir.
All people have anger, because all who are born through the mother are born into anger, because the mother turned the children from the father, in return turning you away from God. And so you've been angry at her about that. Forgive her so that God can forgive you, and the rest is amazing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Let me know how it goes, but do the silent prayer every day. Practice being present, and you're going to see, Daniel, you're going to have kingdom of heaven right here on earth. You don't have to wait until you die.
Sounds good. Can I just say one more thing? Can I just say, Carnes, Dills, Macho, I love you. Papa loves you.
Oh, that's your voice?
That's my boy.
Right on. It's good to talk to you, Daniel.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
All right, buddy.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. Let me go to Jason out of Buffalo, New York. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hello?
Hey, what's up, Jesse? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me? Oh.
I can. Hello? I guess he's gone.
Hey, my question is, how did you come up with like your doctrine? Can you hear? No, can you hear me? You can hear me now? My question is, how did you come up with your doctrine?
I don't have a doctrine.
Forgiveness and stuff thing when it's like Jesus.
So what now?
Where they have to do something to get to heaven. That is a doctrine. That like when you tell people they have to do something to get to heaven, when you give them like a plan, when you give them like instructions on getting to heaven.
What did I tell people they have to do
to get to heaven?
What did I tell people they have to do to get to heaven? I never told anyone that. Jason, hold on. I don't know if you're talking to someone else. Yeah, it sounds like you're on a speakerphone. I don't know what you're doing. I'm going to let Sean figure it out. In the meantime, we're going to do some super chats, and then we'll get back to the phones. Amazing. Hold on, folks. Let me take a quick break. I'll come back. We'll do some quick super chats and your phone call. I don't know what Jason got going. Maybe looking at his video game while he's trying to talk again. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Bible Thought Thursday. There's one line open at 888-7753-773. 888-77 Jesse. Couple announcement. The ladies forum tonight. Isn't that amazing? Every third Thursday night, the ladies forum for ladies only at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Come on down, ladies. And also, every first Thursday night of the month for men only. And they're a doozy as well. For men only on the first Thursday night of the month. So come on down tonight, ladies. And the brand new episode of The Fallen State tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Oh, yeah, tomorrow, Friday. Susanna Weiss. And Susanna was on my Fallen State show before, about 4 years ago, and she is a writer, sex and relationship coach, and the author of the brand new book, Subjectified, Becoming a Sexual Subject. What the? Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
A lot of women dress like sluts now.
Oh, because it's nice to feel sexy and feel wanted.
And would you ever dress like a slut?
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Oh, well, at least you're honest about it. What's good about feelings?
I think they put you in touch with who you are and what you need.
What the? Have you forgiven your mother for screwing you up?
She did.
Yeah, she made you in her image.
That's, I think, the most profound thing you've said.
I told you, look to the man for the answer. The Fallen State tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific time, all right? And support the Fallen State, y'all. Go. You see how effective the work is for those who want to overcome. So support us by going to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or you can /donate, or you can go to thefallenstate.tv, fallenstate.tv, all right? The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m., thehakereport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then Joel Friday TV, he'll be like at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV. And then the American Anchor Baby, Natural Energy, at 12 noon today. On Friday, it's 4 p.m. But today, the American Anchor Baby is at 12 noon. Check it all out. And amazing. Let me go. Oh, let's do the super chat. And then we'll go back to the phone. Super.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Mo Betta stand-up bought 15 coffees. JLP, I'm amazed, awesome, proud, impressed how you stick to the very strict timeline on your show. Each show ends at 3 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds.
Thank you. I'm surprised I'm doing that. I'm black.
You take breaks and give your experts breaks like a clock tick. True work ethic.
Well, you know where that came from? Before we started doing the internet thing here, I used to do radio. I used to do radio and television. And when you're doing radio and television, you have to be on the clock. You have to be on time because they go in a certain time, come out, commercial. So you have to be timely. So I'm glad I have that training. Thank you for notice that. I appreciate it.
Says, I don't care if you promote from plantation to pushing buttons on a random computer you've never seen there. In one simple click, you are hired.
That's right. Thank you. Amazing.
Mo better stand up with more. Also for fun, was Joel real about considering the T-gender lifestyle Wednesday? I attended a university in Southern California with some exchange students from Tel Aviv who became lifestyle medical surgery people. But my pair of desk scissors are just as good, and I would charge 10% of the price. Monocle emoji. Single eyeglass.
He asked what you're real about what?
About T-gender.
What's that?
Sounds like transgender lifestyle Wednesday.
Joe talked about it on his show?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I vaguely
didn't
remember
hear
something.
Joel on Wednesday, I don't think, so I don't know. Call him up today at 11 a.m. and you can ask him more about it, because I didn't hear the show, so I can't comment at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're referring to. But thank you, though, very much.
Yep. He may be confusing him with somebody else. Rue Ben Jamming bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse and crew. I could end the debate known as, is Jesus God? 1 Corinthians 11:3, the head of every man is Christ, the head of Christ is God. And if anyone thinks that Jesus is God, they must also think Godhead and Christhead mean the same thing. Christians are walking around believing they have the mind of God. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, anyone that believes Jesus is God got a serious issue. That's for sure. So, absolutely. Thank you.
Can you have the mind of God?
Yeah, absolutely. But you got to overcome the mind of the devil first. Really. And when you overcome the devil of the mind, there's no other mind to have but God. But you can't have it as long as you have the mind, the thoughts, and emotion of evil, for sure. Thank you.
Mike Zook bought a coffee. Jesse, have you ever seen someone with bigger soup coolers than George Floyd? That boy never ate a hot bowl of Campbell's soup in his life. What?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Almost
Thank
makes
you.
me nervous to read it.
Yeah.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee, someone bought one. No message. Thank you.
Thank you.
RK bought 5 coffees. I have been intentionally practicing staying conscious over the past 2 days. I have noticed I have nothing to do when I am completely conscious. Also, I have no reason to think when I want for nothing. Theme for 2024. Does this make sense?
Right on. Want for nothing. Stay present. Stay present. See, that's the issue that every human being has. Staying present is the problem. Because they don't understand, they don't know they got to stay present. They still fall into the past and the future. I understand that's going to happen for a while, but eventually it'll stop if you stay with it. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, answer to the biblical question from the Observer of Thoughts, Keto or Keto. I forget what it is. Keto, I think.
What does evil look like inside of you?
I don't know. I never see it. I just sense it. It's like a shadow. It disappears when the light hits it. It doesn't exist in the presence of God. Have a great day. Amazing! !
Thank you for your input on it. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Over on Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App, So Callous donated saying, "Hey guys!" Laughing face emojis with cheers coming out. Hake voice.
Amazing.
And I said it a little bit quieter because I feel like it's inside voice time right now. But thank you, So Callous.
Yeah, thank you.
Chalice donated on Cash App, Bond JLP.
Thank you.
Saying thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Falcon Ing on Twitch, JLP Talk on Twitch, Ephesians 5:17-20. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice. Falcon Ing says, quotes from KJV, and I think this is 1 Corinthians 10, verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Amazing. Thank you.
Nice. And having readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. That's verse 6.
Thank you.
Nice. Dawn says on Rumble, a Rumble rant.
You got to know how to rumble.
What's the difference between my Wi-Fi and a one-star hotel? A one-star hotel gets better service. I will listen to the show later when I get home. Have an amazing day.
Amazing. Thank you.
Also on Rumble, Prep Ham Paul says the devil doesn't bother tempting those who already do contrary to God, but when you feel Satan trying to come at you more, it may be when you're doing something that would please God. So he's agreeing with Joel Friday and Denzel. Or
but
Denzel.
I don't know what that means. That has no meaning.
Dang. Shots fired, Prep
But
Ham
thank
Paul.
you, though. I just don't understand. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying it has no meaning.
Whatever the case, he says Joel is 100% right. I back up Joel.
He may be right, absolutely, because he seemed to understand what Denzel was saying.
You're right in your understanding of his meaning. Forget all the other experts. Laughing faces, tears coming out.
That's right.
Age of Inversion, a Rumble rant.
Thank you.
Who is a liar but he that denies Jesus is the Christ? He is Antichrist, he that denies the Father and the Son. And he says, small hats, big problems, which I disavow for the sake of the
That must be somebody that hate the Jews.
you picked up on that?
That's what that means, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I keep hearing, so I'm starting to catch up. They hate the Jews.
I don't know. Can you say that and not hate them?
But yeah, I mean, no, because you wouldn't be calling them names.
Oh, fair enough. Age of Inversion, repent.
And if you don't love all, you love none. Whether you like that or not, if you don't love all, God loves all. He doesn't care about all the other mess.
And so did Christ, and Christ told us to love all.
Yeah. If you don't love all, you love none. You're fooling yourself to pretend that you do. But thank you anyway, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, I at least I don't deny he's the Christ.
Yeah, right.
But they're denying what he said for them to do.
Right, but if you hate them, you hate the Jews, then you are denying Christ.
Yeah.
Every time you hate, you're putting Christ back on the cross. What the?
Nice. Thank you, Age of Inversion, for your Rumble rant.
Yeah, thank you.
Charles bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, what's wrong with the whites? In my neighborhood, they hire a black women nannies for their kids. They must really hate their children.
Amazing.
Indeed.
Amazing. They need the mother to stay home and raise the children, not somebody else.
Aries' son bought a coffee. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, New International Version. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight.
Thank you. Stop right there for now.
Okay.
And remember where you stop. Thank you all so much. I'm looking at the clock here. I can't believe this hour is almost gone. We will get back to those. Let me go quickly to Thomas. Thomas has been waiting for a while out of California. Thomas, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just want to start off by saying your sermon this morning, that call with Daniel, would you believe me if I was to say the angels are singing?
What? You say a sermon?
Yeah, your sermon this morning.
Oh, that's the one that Hake played.
Or you can call it your monologue.
Hake played it yesterday on the... Is he talking about the one that was on this?
He's talking about your call with...
No, I'm talking about your monologue this morning.
Oh, I got you.
Your opening.
Oh, the opening show this morning. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
I thought you had listened to last night's show.
No, I didn't. No,
okay, I got it, though. Go
your
ahead.
monologue this morning.
Right on.
So, I had a question for you, but I'll set it up with a couple of startup questions. So just make sure we're on the same page. So do you agree that everything in the universe came from source, that single point of light that scientists call the Big Bang?
Repeat that.
Do you agree that the beginning of the universe, everything in the universe came from that single point of light that the scientists call the Big Bang? Do you agree with that?
I never heard of that, but no.
Do you agree that me, everybody, the earth, the universe is not God's creation? You don't believe that?
I believe all things came from God, absolutely.
There we go. Yeah, we are on the same page. And then you agree that...
Tom, hold on for me, buddy. Hold on. Because right now I don't have time to be playing a guessing game, but hold on. I may be able to get to you in your game, your play style. Ashley is the first time caller out of Texas. Ashley, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are y'all this morning?
All is well. Thanks for calling. Hold on, Tom. I'll play with you a little later. Go ahead.
So I have recently come across you and everything that you teach, and I'm really soaking it all up. I've been in therapy from childhood traumas for about 6 years, and I have forgiven my mom. I have forgiven my stepdad, and as I've grown with the Lord and recently discovering all of your things, some things that I want to inquire about. So you speak on living without anger, which is something that I have strived to want to do. And so a scripture comes to my mind about Jesus, and he says that to be angry and sin not. I want to know how you feel about that. How would you bring that into what you do know of anger?
Well, it means that you want to see injustice, you want to see evil, but don't be angry. Because if you're not angry at it, you won't become like what you hate. You won't take on the nature of evil.
I understand. Okay. So that situation
you want to be able to discern it.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that anger can be felt but not acted upon.
As long as you know that it's not you and it's not from God, and you just want to see it, because anyone that has anger is evil, and you want to see that evil in your heart so you can overcome it.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you one more question. Maybe you can help me with this. I had forgiven my parents for the things that they had done, and throughout my adult life, it's been come and go with my parents. Sometimes they want to have something to do with me, and sometimes they don't. At this current moment, I'm going on about 2 years of no contact with my mom and that side of my family. Do you have any advice for me on how I can continue to live a productive and healthy life without feeling this need of maybe restoration with them?
Have you gone to your mother and forgiven her?
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
What did you say to her when you went to her?
I told her that I forgave her for not knowing better, for not doing better. I forgave her for being angry at her and frustrated, and for her not doing better for me, things of that nature.
And what did she say?
She, at the time, accepted the apology, and it seemed well-wished. We did good for about a year or so, and my stepbrother had committed suicide, and for whatever reason, that disrupted the emotional stability of those relationships, and so now we haven't spoken in about 2 years.
And have you, when you talk to your father about, or ask, your father, why didn't he protect you from your mother when you were growing up? What did he say?
I don't think I've necessarily, I had a stepfather. He was the abusive perpetrator. My biological father, unfortunately, didn't really have a spot in my life. My mom kept him out of my life.
Do you know who he is?
Absolutely, yes. And
So-
we have a wonderful relationship.
Oh, good. So you have a good relationship with your father, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I have recently just come across this, so I'm unfamiliar with it.
I want you to go and start rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Rebuildingtheman.com. I want you to start doing that every morning and every night so you can be aware of those thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings, the good or the bad one. So they can be taken away from you, right? Do the prayer. And then just wish your mother and her folks well, but go on and live your life. You have no obligation to her at all. We honor our parents by not being angry at them, by not resenting them, because they did the best they could, right?
They did the best they could.
Right.
That's right.
And so just don't be angry at her and move on with your life.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate everything that you do.
That makes sense a little bit?
Absolutely. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't have any reason. You're a grown woman now, and you can take care of yourself. You just move on with your life and don't worry about her family or anyone else that doesn't want to play with you. You don't have to play with people. You don't owe them anything.
Right. Right.
So go and live your life.
Thank you so much, Jesse, and I'll be saying the silent prayer.
Right on. Let me know how it goes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amazing. Let me go to, is it Mayland? Mayland out of Georgia. Georgia, oh my mind. There's one line open, 888-77-JESSE. Mayland, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Mayland.
All is well since I forgave my black mama, Jesse.
Nice.
All is well.
Right on.
So, Jesse, I wanted to talk to you because, Jesse, I'm mixed. You know my family, and my husband's white. And our kids, Jesse, they look very white, right? And so...
So let me just say this first. So you're black, but your husband's white?
I'm black and Korean, Jesse.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it wasn't fun being me as a kid.
And then your husband is white, and then you guys have children, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we live in Atlanta, and, we're moving to Raleigh. And I have this babysitter, Jesse, and I never judged her. And something, Jesse, when you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, Jesse, because the older blacks are more trustworthy, and they fear God a little more. You know what I mean? They fear God a little more. But the younger ones are just, I don't know what's going on. They just still have so much hate.
Mayland, hold on for me. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, I want you to go right to your questions or comment. Let me take a quick break. One more hour to go. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and His love. It's going to be amazing, man.
An assassination attempt of a Slovakian prime minister, stable but serious condition. What a mess. I mentioned Tom Brady says his kids are kind of weak, and these Miss USA people dropping like flies, dropping out of you, Miss USA. Good riddance, I guess. And Gaza drama. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Bible Thumper Thursday. The lines are full. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. But first, Hake news, not fake news. You can super chat in the meantime. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. That's a nice way to super chat. Or rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Nice. After the JLP show, the Hake Report. And then Joel Friday TV, his last day of the week is today for Joel Friday TV because he's not live on Fridays. American Anchor Baby after that. He didn't do a show yesterday, American Anchor Baby. He had his fam in town. Assassination attempt? CNN. Call me nonsense at work. CNN reports Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico, F-I-C-O, in stable but serious condition after being shot 5 times. 5 shots couldn't drop him. He took it and smiled in what officials described as a politically motivated assassination attempt. 59-year-old so-called populist leader. Populist? I don't know what they mean by that. Sounds Trump-esque maybe, who knows. Was attacked Wednesday after an off-site government meeting in the town of Handlova. The alleged shooter is in custody. The attempted murderer, right? No one else was injured, so said officials. Alleged attempted murder. Slovakia's defense and interior ministers blamed rising hate speech and division for the political atmosphere in the country, which they say led to the assassination attempt. Hate speech. Fico, an ally of Russia, was elected in October after running a campaign that criticized Western support for Ukraine. Nice. Right on. Tom Brady says his appearance on the greatest roast of all time has, quote-unquote, affected his children. CNN says the NFL star agreed to be roasted by comedians in a Netflix special, but now says some of those jokes hit too close to home, and I think it has to do with his divorce from that model, that Brazilian model. He's like an Anglo or something. And he married this Brazilian light-skinned gal. And then there was some adultery, maybe on her part, and then they divorced, and they have kids, and it's a mess. And now you can't joke about it because his kids are affected. What a mess, huh? New Miss USA was crowned amid ongoing turmoil at the beauty pageant, amid a flurry of resignations over what, I don't know. I guess they're not allowed to say, but they sure do love complaining. The new Miss USA is Savannah Gankiewicz, and she looks Hawaiian or something. Pacific Islander, Asian, Hispanic, who knows? She stepped up to be crowned on Wednesday in Honolulu, Hawaii, crowned by Josh Green, who is not even native Hawaiian or born there as a white man. He's like not even a Christian, I don't think. Anyway, maybe I'll tell you about her in the Hake Report next week, but I have a guest today and tomorrow. Anyway, she's a mental health gal, 28 years old. Gaza drama. U.S.-built floating pier will allow humanitarian aid to Gaza, anchored to a beach today along the besieged enclave. The pier aims to support humanitarian mission to deliver humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. U.S. Central Command said that in a statement. Dozens of trucks expected to begin moving the humanitarian aid ashore in the coming days. No U.S. troops had entered Gaza, according to them, but they're still on that pier thing, and there could be shooting back and forth, and it's a mess. It's ugly. Campus protests, speaking of weak students, police arrested at least a dozen pro-Palestinian demonstrators at University of California, Irvine, UCI, way down in South Orange County, I want to say, almost south, as they cleared an encampment in front of the lecture hall on yesterday. Several so-called pro-Palestinian encampments were removed from at least 3 other college campuses in recent days. 50 professors been detained at campus protests across the country this past month. I'm James Hake.
the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. I'm out of breath a little bit because we were listening to Shotgun during the break. Shotgun, shoot it for you right now. Do the jerk, baby.
What the?
Do the jerk now. So I'm out of breath. Anyway, my biblical question. Did I do the biblical question? The biblical question. What does evil look like inside of you? What does evil look like inside of you? What does it look like inside of you? You can, don't forget to support us on social media. Y'all know what to do, right? Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. We're also on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com and cozy.tv where Christ is King. Cozy.tv. So, and to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. It's Thursday. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. It is the last hour of the show on Thursday. It is Bible Thumper Thursday.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't feel your faith. Are you ready?
Hallelujah. Oh, Lord. Amazing. Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper. I want to go back to, we're talking to Malin out of Georgia. Malin, thank you for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, Jesse, thank you so much for having me. I know I call you all the time, but I never get to talk to you for more than 2 minutes.
Amazing.
So my question is this. Did I make a mistake? And again, this is coming from a person who's half black, Jesse. Did I make a mistake hiring a black babysitter? She stole from me. She stole my necklace. I'm in the middle of packing to move. I said, hey, I'm missing my necklace. And that girl told me that my daughter must have hid it somewhere, Jesse, and I know she's lying. And you know what, Jesse? I'm not even mad at her. I forgive her because I know that she has anger and she didn't have a father when she grew up. She's from the south side of Atlanta.
But that's not a reason that she should be stealing from you, though.
Right, and so I don't know what to do, Jesse.
So
now she's saying, when I come today to babysit, I'll look for it. Yeah, girl, you better look for it and you better find it. Okay?
So do you have proof that she stole it?
I don't have proof, but Jesse, I know for a fact there's no one else that comes in my house.
So is it possible that it just could be misplaced somewhere?
No, it's not possible, Jesse.
Have she stolen from you before?
Never.
But
it's the only thing that you can really steal that I leave out. It was a gold necklace. Everything else is locked in our safe, Jesse.
And why is it not possible? It just could have been replaced, laid somewhere else, or
Because, Jesse, I'll tell you why. Before I went on my anniversary trip to Lake Oconee, I looked at that necklace and I said, you know what? I should put that away. And that was the day that she came to watch the kids.
Oh, I got you.
When I came back, it was gone.
And so if you truly believe, now I'm not there, so I don't know, I have no idea, no clue. But if you truly believe and you have some proof that she stole it, I wouldn't be let her work in my home if she's stealing.
Right, exactly, Jesse. And what I wanted to say to you is this, I had a bad feeling when I hired her, and every time I hire a black babysitter, I feel torn because I'm black myself. But every time I hire them, then my son's telling me now that she was yelling at him. And I didn't even know.
And why don't you stay? How old is your son? How old is your son?
He's 5.
So why don't you stay home? Why don't you stay home and raise your son?
I do. It's just for date.
For what?
They don't for date nights. They don't come all the time. It's just
but why
once
not
every
take your
2
kid? What's a date night?
It's when you go out with your husband on a date.
But why does a husband have to take a wife on a date? He already got her.
He doesn't have to take me, Jesse. We just enjoy spending time together without the kids, but he doesn't have to.
But if people steal it in your home, why not take the kids with you?
Oh, I will now. But Jesse, what do I do if I need a babysitter? I only hire a white one? What do I do?
Well, you have to just look for the best qualified person. I really don't know. But if it is a problem, then I would just take the kids on the quote-unquote date night with me. Why not let it take the kids, have a family out? Your husband don't need to take you on no date night.
Okay, I hear you, Jesse.
Let it be a family outing. You know what I mean?
Yes, and then also, Jesse.
And then that way,
I'm never buying a piece of jewelry ever again after this. I can't.
Why not?
It was so expensive, and it can just disappear. It's a waste of money.
Oh, I understand. Well, I wish you well with that, all right?
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome. Amazing. 888-775-3773. I want to just give you just a few things that is not going to make your life better. It's not going to work. I've told you before that people, places, and things cannot make your life work. Yes, we have to work with one another here on earth, buy food, go to your business to buy what you have and blah, blah, blah. But no person, money, place, or thing can save you from the hell that you're living in, right? Nothing is going to help but overcoming the hell. Really. And every human being, there's not one, I don't care who they say they are or what, there's not one person that is not living in hell until they return to the Father. Not one. I don't care what money, color, male, female, whatever. Every black, white, Chinese, Japanese, Oriental, whatever, Mexican, rich or poor, you're living in hell. And nothing's going to save you from hell. No pastor, nobody, until you return to the Father. You must be born of the Father. You can go to counseling until the cows come home. But if you don't return to the Father, ain't nothing going to be able to save you. Becoming a pastor or a priest won't help you. Watch this from the root of orthodoxy. We don't have it.
It's a terrible thing to be a priest. It's beautiful, in some sense. I wouldn't change it. You love it, but you have to die. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's not a career. It's something you just bear. in a good way with Christ, because you're entering into that in some small way, because the priesthood is Christ's. And so, it's a fearful thing to be a priest. It's really a fearful thing. God help us. God help us. We're men, men who make mistakes. Hopefully we're upholding church teaching as best we can. If you want to be a priest, then you have to be ready to suffer. Because you have to suffer with Christ for your people and for the world around you.
What's that about? That's my first time seeing it. My producer gave it to me. What he crying for? Yeah, you got to die with Christ. You have to suffer. Because being a priest ain't going to do it. It ain't going to help you. I don't know why he doing all that crying. I don't know what he mean by you have to die and then he crying. Surely he knows that there is no death. Death doesn't exist unless he just means the ego death. I don't know. But he's boohooing, so becoming a priest won't help you. Helping the homeless won't help you. Or helping the homeless won't help you. Or the homeless. You won't be helped either way. Watch this from Deborah George.
Yeah? Bless you, baby. You okay? You want to come get a donut? How about a donut? Right here, babe. No, you're good. You're good. Come on up. Come on up. We love you. What's your name? Okay, we love you. You want this donut, honey? All right, Father, in the name of Jesus, I just pray over my friend right now.
In the
And I
name.
take authority over this addiction. I break it over him in Jesus' name. Father, just touch him right now. Say this with me. Say, Jesus. Say it out loud. Say, Jesus.
Jesus.
Come into my heart. Come in. Just say, come in. Come in.
Come in.
Amen.
Come in.
Yeah, say, come in. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. We love you, honey.
I don't know who's most lost, that man or that woman. Just say, thank you. Lord, come into my life. Thank you, Jesus. That ain't going to help you. That's just a thrill that she's getting. It ain't doing nothing for that poor man. He don't even know he got the donut in his hand. That ain't going to help you, folks. That ain't going to do it. Only a return to the Father. Only forgiving and returning to the Father. Only. You can do whatever else you want to try if you want, but it's a waste of time. It ain't going to do it. You must forgive and return to the Father. Getting a girlfriend is not going to help. Watch this from YouTube.
Who has the best girlfriend ever?
I do.
Who just bought you all this stuff?
She did.
And all the stuff?
My girl bought all of it, and I'm about to eat this.
Is he
And then
Mexican?
we're gonna chow on that.
But we're not eating it all. Just know that. Because we gotta save some.
Yeah.
You know?
Relax.
Because Boo deserved it. Even though we get in our arguments sometimes, I still love you, okay?
I love you too.
Yeah.
I love you too, baby.
Yeah, you better. So I just spent some money on you, yeah.
What a mess. I'm sure they're acting, Sean, they got to be acting out, right? He was serious. He looked scared. And I would be scared too if some woman brought me some food. Who brought this to you, babe? Who gave you this? I gave you this. Oh. I'm being told that the name of that video is Someone Please Save This Man. Having a girlfriend ain't gonna do it. He looked cold or scared or something. Like, let me say what she want me to say, because this food looking good. And the other one, so getting a girlfriend ain't going to do it. Hating your husband is not going to help. Watch this.
Realize hating your husband. Like, for real. It's okay to go through about a minute, half a day, couple hours, a full day, even a week of just like, I can't stand you right now. But deep down or in the back of your head, it might be all the way down in your toes at this point, you know I love you so much, and I know we're in this together, we're just in the thick of it.
Now, do you believe when I tell you that women are evil? Satan is their God. The God above is the man's God, and the God below is the woman's God. They need help. See how that is? That ain't going to save you, though. It ain't going to help you. You must forgive and return to the Father. Running from your fears won't help you. Watch this from the Phantom. Amazing.
I think he senses your fear. Get over there and face him. No, get over there and face him. You can't run from him. He's going to win. Yeah, win it! Win it! Yeah! You're winning! You're winning!
That boy ain't winning. That boy being traumatized. He's scared of the rooster. I remember when I was a kid, I was scared of the rooster because the rooster would come at you like that. And they'd be like, serious. And the rooster was, I guess, protecting the hens. And I didn't know that. But I was screaming and carrying on like that. That boy too fat to be up there screaming like that. But that ain't the way to deal with it. That father's traumatizing him. Have you been afraid of the rooster before, Hassan?
I was just going to ask you, they come at you crazy?
They come at you like they're trying to bite you and hurt you. They really do. So I understand why that boy was afraid, but he was screaming and carrying, and the father is causing trauma by making the boy have the rooster run after the boy, and the boy has to face it. What the? Come on, man! Facing a fear like that is not going to help you. Don't let anyone tell you, not one. Anyone that tells you that you can't overcome, they are your enemy. There's nothing on this side of heaven that you cannot overcome. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't overcome, all right? They're lying to you. It's the same kind of lie they tell you that anger is good. Anyone that tells you that anger is good is your enemy. Don't let them tell you that you cannot overcome, all right? Don't let it happen. Don't believe it. You get away from that person. Watch this from TikTok.
What's the hardest thing you had to overcome in your life? Killing somebody. You're going to have to explain that because people are going to think you're a murderer. Army. I'm Army Ranger. How did you overcome that? You don't. You never overcome that.
Amazing. And you can overcome that. I counsel with men and women that have been in the military, and they too have been told they can't overcome the trauma of the military. But when I show them, point the right way for them to overcome, they overcome. They overcome it. They've been lied to by the expert counselors and then professionals and all those people, dumb people with degrees, and they've been lying to the men of the military that you can't overcome. That's a lie, a bald-faced lie. That is evil. You can overcome that. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't. Whomever tell you that, they're evil and don't know what they're doing or just can't see. They're unconscious. You can't overcome the military too. Ain't no such thing as post-traumatic stress disorder, and now you're stuck for the rest of your life. That doesn't even make sense. You're not stuck. You can be free. But you must forgive. You must forgive. Before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. Before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. Watch this from Wikipedia. Gary Leon Ridgway is an American serial killer. Gary Leon Ridgway is an American according to Wikipedia, an American serial killer known as the Green River Killer. Green River Killer. He was initially convicted of 48 separate murders and committed between the early 1980s. Convicted of 48 separate murders committed between the early 1980s and the late 1990s. Watch this from A&E. Mind blowing.
On November 5th, 2003, all doubt of Ridgway's guilt was erased. He pleaded guilty to the murders of 48 women.
Guilty, 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 guilty.
It's like he didn't have any remorse at all for what he had done. You know, he'd killed so many people, he didn't remember who they were, what they looked like. I just couldn't believe that somebody could kill all those people and not remember them.
Neither could the angry relatives of his victims, who were invited to speak in court when Ridgway was sentenced to life without parole on December 18th, 2003.
In your words, you said that they didn't mean anything to you, but she meant everything to us.
She was a mother, she was a wife, she was a sister, and we miss her.
I wish for him to have a long, suffering, cruel death.
He's gonna go to hell, and that's where he belongs.
But then the emotionless facade finally cracked when the father of one of his victims appeared to surprise him with a dose of human kindness.
Mr. Ridgway, there are people here that hate you. I'm not one of them. You've made it difficult to live up to what I believe, and it is what God says to do, and that's to forgive. You are forgiven, sir.
Wow. Now that's deep. All those other judgmental females and maybe another male, I don't know if another male got one up there, they're unforgiven because Satan is their God. And one man went and forgave. Because whatever happened with those murders, Gary Leon Ridgway did not do them. Now, yes, the law of the land for punish him for what happened, but he didn't do it. Just like you who are doing what you are doing, it's not you. The same spirit, the evil spirit or spirits that was driving Gary Leon Ridgway from doing what that caused him to do what he's been accused of doing, it's the same spirit that causes you to gossip. It's the same spirit that causes you to want to get revenge. It's the same spirit that says you're an alcoholic, a lesbian, a homosexual, or cut your body parts off. It's the same spirit that causes you to lie and cheat and steal. It's the same spirit that causes you to argue with your husband or your wife or turn your children away from the fathers. It's the same spirit that causes you to hate yourself and others. It's the same thing. No different. But in your own fallen state, you'll think your little thing is a little better than anybody else. You're not so bad. You're still evil. Anyone that has evil has unforgiveness, and you are a murderer. You're evil. It's not you. God is not holding that against Gary Leon Ridgway. And that one man went and forgave him. Isn't that amazing? You must, if you want to be free, forgive. You got to drop the anger and return to the Father. That's what life is all about. Nothing, it ain't about getting a husband or a wife or this or that. It's about a return to the Father. Watch this for reclaimed masculinity.
Kept me away from my dad for 26 years. You know what kept me away from him? My mom told me that my dad said I was a mistake and kept me away from my father. Every time, this been looking for me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's been looking for me. I finally talked to my dad. He's a good dude. My mom told me my dad has not paid child support since I was a kid. I finally meet this. He has envelopes full of shit proof showing he's been paying child support. My mom calls me. What you doing, baby? What's going on? I'm at my dad's house. What the f you doing at the house? Didn't I say don't discuss family business? My dad bust through the door and snatched the phone. I was trying to, no. He's like, hello? Put my son back on the phone. No, it's my son too. What do you want? Put my son back on the phone. And my dad loses it. Going in on my mom. And I'm listening to my mom. All that slapping, abuse, and beating me up, choking me when I'm on the floor, beating me with belts, wrapping hangers around other hangers. My mom turned into a 2-year-old little girl when my dad started talking to her. She talked to me like my entire life. He's yelling on the phone, you mad because I left you. And I didn't want to be with you no more. And you kept my son away from me as a weapon.
Amazing. That's the same spirit that did that to that boy, what he says mother did to him. It's the same spirit that drove Gary Leon Ridgway, according to Wikipedia, what he did, murdering 48 separate women. That's the same spirit that drove the mother to turn the children away from the father, the son from the father, or the daughter from the father. It's the same spirit. Evil is evil is evil no matter what. You can live blindly in your own ego and believe that your little thing is better, is not as bad as someone else, but it is. Anyone that has anger has no love, period. That fake feeling of love is not love. That's hate. And nothing is going to save you from that but a return to the Father. No no letting someone tell you that you can't overcome. Running from your fears won't help. Hating your husband is not going to help. Getting a girlfriend is not going to help. Helping the homeless won't help you or the homeless. Becoming a pastor or priest won't help you. It won't help you. Forgiveness will. You got to go and face your mother. Your mama, folks, your mama screwed you up. She turned you away from your father. In return, turned you away from God, and that's what's missing. And the devil tell you is everything else but that. But that's what's missing. A return to the Father. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. What a mess. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Amazing. It's a spiritual battle. It's not about color. No such thing as racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism, Allah-u-Abba-ism, deadbeat-dadism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism. No isms. It's either right or wrong. Which one will you choose for yourself? Live in your hell or be free? You really can be free right here on earth. Paradise is right here. Salvation, freedom, perfect peace is right here inside of you. It's in your world. It's in you. And no human being is to blame if you don't look on the inside and receive it. You are to blame. No one can make you feel anything that you're not already feeling. You were already screwed up when they met you. They didn't screw you up. You were already screwed up. Your mama screwed you up, and your daddy didn't protect you. Anyway, a couple of quick announcements. Check out the Afro Jerkies. I heard Joel mention the Afro Jerkies yesterday. Do you know where to find that, Hassan? Oh, okay. Check out the Afro Jerky. People tell me I have a lot of Afro energy. Jesse, what gives you so much Afro energy, they say? Is it energy drinks? No. Is it cigars? No. It's Afro Jerky. Afro Jerky from Big Club, USA. Alpha male. And you can have Afro Jerky energy too. Amazing. Check out Big Club, USA. Good. All right? Check it out. The Women's Forum tonight, ladies, at 7 p.m. for ladies only at 7 p.m. And then at the top of this hour, the Hake report is coming up. At the top of this hour, the Hake report. JLP.com. And at 11 a.m., Joel, this is Pacific time, at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, he black. At 11 a.m. And then the American Anchor Baby. Did y'all see the American Anchor Baby folks on my show yesterday? He has a family. He has a mama and sisters. Isn't that amazing? And in-laws. They were on the show yesterday. If you didn't podcast it, podcast yesterday's show. The American Anchor Baby, energy given to him by God. And don't forget to support us for personal shout-outs, birthday, weddings, encouragement, whatever the shout-out is. Go to cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me go quickly to the phones. Let's see what we can get in here in the next few minutes that we have. Let me go to Jerry out of Georgia. Georgia, on my mind. Jerry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Jerry, welcome.
Hey, man, what a man doing all that crying, man? Talking about Jesus, you gotta die. What are you talking about, man?
I have no idea. It's the darndest thing I ever seen.
All right, yeah, so I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Ask you a quick question because I know you got other calls. I know it's a spiritual battle, but in this spiritual battle it can get physical, right? Things can get physical, right?
It does get physical sometimes.
So I'm asking, is it safe to say it's okay to learn how to fight and box and, to protect
I
yourself?
see. Absolutely, man. You should, because you're living in a cruel, evil, nasty, wicked world. And so you should you should do something to protect yourself from that. Absolutely.
Why doesn't it speak on those things like in the Bible? Like, protecting yourself, and because I guess I've never had the urge to, go all out and like learn how to, box and do all those things, because I always just felt like, I had God with me. But I guess that makes sense. I mean, you got to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do. You must protect yourself. Have you ever had to like physically fight to protect yourself?
Yes.
You did it, right?
Yes.
And you already knew what to do then, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But no, you definitely have to, you're supposed to, I mean, that's why we have the Second Amendment, in order to protect ourselves as well.
Right. Also, another question, real quick, about the anger.
Yes.
I agree with a lot of things that you say, that you teach. The anger part is something that I agree with, because I feel like anger is something that no one should have. Having anger is not good for your soul, not good for your spirit. And I feel like they put in the Bible, like the lady said, she said anger and not sin. And then there's verses like slow to get anger. I think those are just put in there for you to control your emotions. Because, I mean, you're going to get angry at some things. I mean, people are going to do things, and it's I'm not having an excuse to have anger, but if you do happen to get angry, just make sure that you don't, you just have some self-control, because a lot of young dudes, they're quickly angered. Like, you can't tell them anything because they'll quickly.
But you have no control over anger. You can't control anger. Anger is a spirit. It's evil, right? Evil spirit. And then there's never, ever, 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 no matter what situation happens in life, there's never a reason to be angry.
Yeah. See, I don't know, Jesse. I kind of disagree with that, man. I just feel like,
and why?
I mean, because like I said, I know you don't have any control. We don't have any free will, so we don't have any control. You can't control yourself from getting anger. But once you're aware, other people can't control because they're not aware of the anger. But when you're aware, you know how to control your emotions. That's what a man does. But when you're truly aware of the anger in the present, then the anger does not have any control over you. You realize you're not even in anger. You see that it's evil,
and you will not give into it, and it will be taken away from you by God.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Last
there's
one,
never, ever, ever a reason to be angry. Thank you, though, Jerry. I
Okay.
got to run. I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry to rush you through it, but I'm looking at the clock here. Let me go to Edward out of Ohio. Edward been waiting a while as well. Let's see. Edward, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Jesse? You know, patience is a fruit of the spirit. You got to have the spirit of God to have patience and wait for you to get on the line.
Well, amazing. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, man, I hear people calling your show left and right, man. And you tell them they in hell burning in the lake of fire, and they don't believe. But the kingdom of God is nice to be up in here with all this peace and to be looking outside and see everybody weeping and gnashing their teeth talking about they can't control their anger when God give you his spirit and the fruit of the spirit, anger ain't enough.
Right. You have to overcome that. And every human being has to overcome it if they want to be free. I realize that most people love their anger, they love their hell, and so they will hold on to it, but you can overcome it if you want to.
Right, you can.
Yeah.
But how you overcome it, you got to look in the mirror and look at Satan. Satan in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, if you ain't born again, because Jesus told him, you of your father the devil. And there's only one Father, one God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ set apart from everybody in existence because he the Holy One. He set apart.
Yeah,
So
you're
what
right.
he did in Genesis.
You're right in
what
that.
he did in, all right, go ahead.
No, finish your point.
What he did in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. He been separated the light from the darkness in Genesis.
It is done, that's for sure. Elwood, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Sorry I got to run. I'm on the clock here right now. Let me go to Beth out of Kansas, better known as Arkansas by Joe Friday TV. He black. Beth, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You've completely changed my life and my relationship with my husband.
Right on.
I don't argue. Yeah, I don't argue as much. I still got the devil in me. And the other thing too is I worry about myself, and I don't worry about other people. If I can help, I help. If I can't, I don't.
Right on. Amazing.
Yeah. You're what you're saying and what you're doing. It is amazing. It really helps.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yes. It's not at ease, I guess, or it's not like it still doesn't come natural. That's kind of what it is. It doesn't come natural. Like I have to think about it, and I have to make sure that I do it.
Well, that's fine for now, as long as you make sure you do it, because eventually it will become naturally, and you will be praying without ceasing.
That's cool, because that's where I want to be.
Right on. Well, stay with the prayer and stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, Beth. You haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. Well, just so you know, you are all amazing, and thank you. Honestly, I can't thank you enough.
Right on.
So,
You're welcome.
all right.
Amazing.
All right.
Thank you, Beth. Super chat.
Super chat.
888-77 Jesse.
It's me. Zenya is a monthly supporter, subscriber on Rumble. Says Will Smith.
Thank you.
Will Smith hasn't been on top of his game for a while now. Indeed.
I don't even know if he's out there anymore, right?
Barely.
Is he still acting?
His last good movie was Independence Day. Or
Is
maybe Men in Black.
Oh, that's the last movie he was in?
No, that's his last good movie.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Amazing.
No, I'm kidding around.
Well,
But anyway,
thank
that's
you.
how I feel. That was
Okay.
when he was on top. DJT 2020 says Galatians 6, 3 through 4. If anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let each one test his own work, and then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in his neighbor.
Thank you. Amazing.
DJT 2020 says Titus 3:5. These are Rumble rants. He saved us not because of works done by us in righteousness, but according to his own mercy, by the washing of regeneration and renewal of the Holy Spirit.
Bible Thumper Thursday. Thank you. Amazing.
DJ bought a coffee. Jesse, have you heard of the TV show something about adults intensely close with their mothers? There was one woman who was 31 and still sleeps in the same bed with Mama.
I haven't. I was thinking of a movie as Dave was saying that called, have you heard the movie Come Home Little Sheba?
No.
That movie is an old way black and white movie, and it's called Come Home Little Sheba. It's about a dog, by the way. Maybe I shouldn't have told y'all that. But y'all need to check it out. It's so interesting.
Nice.
Amazing. Thank you, though.
Yeah. White Lion NYC. White Lion bought a coffee. I actually agree with Joel this morning. What the mind-blown emoji.
Amazing. I'm glad somebody understands it because I'm still not getting it.
White Lion has a soft spot.
And again, I don't know if, I don't know what that meant. I'm not, my mind is open to it, because meaning that I don't have a one way or another opinion about it. They're referring to that guy, Dion.
Dion?
I mean,
Denzel
Washington. And Denzel said something that didn't make any sense. Can we play it one more time? But then he looked over at everybody at the church like Grandma. And so I guess it made sense to him. And then some of the people would applaud it. Watch this.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Ooh.
Do you understand it now?
I've understood it from the start.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What are he saying?
He's saying that if the devil is bothering you, probably because you're doing something, maybe because you're doing something right. If you don't feel the devil bothering you, maybe because he already has you.
But that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does.
How?
Because the devil leaves you comfortable when he already has you. He tries to make you uncomfortable, so you go back into the arms of the comfortable arms of the devil.
What?
He makes you uncomfortable when you're trying to leave him, so he tries to bring you back in.
Is that what Dion? Why do you call him Dion?
It's some black name.
I think Deion Sanders named that.
Yep.
Some guy named Dion. He was a basketball player, I think.
Football or something.
Oh.
Maybe baseball.
And so Joel said, you lying. That ain't what it means.
I'm lying. I said the same thing that Joel Friday said. I thought.
But what he
Although I didn't really pay attention.
But anyway, Super Chat.
Okay. Thank you, White Lion.
He said he was joking.
Super Chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just joking.
Goldberger, Art bought a coffee. Conversely, Satan just doing his job. Leave Grandma alone. Single tear emoji.
Amazing. Thank you.
5 coffees from someone. Hi, Jesse. I wish I'd listened to my husband and obey him when we first got married. My hell on earth would be a little easier. Thank you that I have found you to teach me about what life is all about. Keep preaching, brother.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's amazing. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with a Diamond King Kong gorilla emoji. Ain't got nothing on me. He didn't say nothing. He said bed covering.
A bad word?
Bed covering.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Stan 69 with a diamond. Nick's fam is all women. Beta, mom rejects the order.
Nick family was on my show yesterday. If you missed it, podcast yesterday's show. It was fun. It was amazing having them on. It was fun. Really. Check it out. Podcast yesterday's show. Amazing. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby says Jason is seeking a brain and some hot sauce. Shout out to Jason.
Shout out to Jason. Amazing. Thank you.
Pastor Shadowlight gave a rumble rant. They will try to join forces to try to destroy you. can confirm, and they act in unison like a spirit. It's wild.
Like wild wolves. Thank you. Amazing.
Reese Niederbear gave a few different diamonds. First, he asks, what's your question for me? Second, he says, Jesus calls himself the Son of Man. What's that mean?
Wasn't he the son of that guy?
Son of Joseph?
Yeah.
But he didn't call himself the son of Joseph. He says the Son of Man has no place to lay his head.
Oh, you're talking about God?
Yeah, no, he's talking about Jesus.
Jesus was saying that he didn't have any place to lay his head.
Yeah, and he called himself the Son of Man. What does the Son of Man mean?
Amazing. I don't know. What'd you say?
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Especially not under this type of pressure, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know at this point. Thank you.
Reese Niederbear with that third diamond. Noticing Jays do evil stuff is not hating them.
What?
Noticing that Jays do evil stuff is not hating them.
But he called them...
Small hats.
Yeah. Where's the love in that? You can see that people are doing evil things, that's for sure. But why you got to call them names? That's what the problem is. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul says one last try on Joel's behalf, I guess, and Denzel's, which I hear is Denzel, really. One last try. If we were dogs to the devil and we pull away, the devil tries to leash and pull tighter on the leash, and so it hurts, and he is attacking us. But when we follow the devil, he doesn't even need to bother with the leash. Shout out to Sandy. Tears, laughing face with tears coming out.
Is Sandy the devil?
No, Sandy is the dog who is controlled by the devil.
What the? Oh, you call Hassan the devil?
Yeah, but I'm kidding around.
Oh. Amazing. Thank you.
Hassan is my 88th favorite Jew. I mentioned that yesterday. Someone bought a coffee.
Oh, you have a guest today?
I have.
What's the name?
Krishan the Dawn from the Misfit Nation.
Oh, you back?
Oh, yeah.
Don't let Hassan mama know it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Krishan is not Muslim.
Oh, that was
That's
the
Omar.
same guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Omar.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
third rail with Omar. Shout out to Hassan's mom. Someone bought a coffee. I'm starting to see we as people.
Your mama? Are you serious? What?
That's probably good for her and everybody involved.
I'm telling you.
Insider information.
Is that true though?
Yeah.
Wow. Poor Hassan mama.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I'm starting to see we as people really don't have a free will. However, to seek God, aren't we making a choice to seek him?
No.
Thank you, someone with your coffee.
I appreciate that though. Thank you.
Jamil bought a coffee. Is there anything wrong with buying and running a bar that serves alcohol? I have an opportunity to buy one, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea morally, says Jamil.
I don't quite understand the question.
Anything wrong with buying and running a bar that serves alcohol? At bars, you could be tempting people to get drunk.
But you're not responsible for what other people do. And that you have a business.
Indeed.
And you're not going outside and dragging people in and make them buy drinks. I don't know. You just have a business. Whoever want to come in and get it.
And just because they go to the bar doesn't mean they're going there to get drunk.
Right. I wouldn't put that much thought into it, but do what you want. But I wouldn't put that much thought into it. Thank you.
It's different from like a pornography or something like that.
Right.
Melissa bought a coffee. Hey, Melissa from PA here. That's Pennsylvania. Waving emoji. I appreciate your honesty. God bless all. Trump 2024. Smiley face with American flag emojis.
Trump 2024 for sure. Thank you, Melissa.
Greenwall coffee. Jesus said to her, do not come near me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. But go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and my God and your God. John 20, verse 17. Jesus was not God. Honor his life by reading his words, y'all.
What a mess, huh? Thank you. I love that. Thank you.
5 coffees from Gen C. Good morning, JLP Universe. Soup coolers equals lips. You were safe reading Reverend St. George Floyd Luther King III's comment from earlier, Hake. Big smile emoji. I still feel like that's kind of vulgar. But big lips are big soup coolers.
Oh.
And he's talking about George Floyd. Thank you, Gen C.
Thank you.
For explaining.
Yeah.
Mr. Lou Key says, keep it 100. And he gave a Cash App donation, Bond JLP.
Thank you.
Luis, or Louis, says, I listen almost every day. Thanks.
I appreciate that. Thank
Good
you.
on Cash App.
Right
Thank
on.
you, says Britt, for 5 coffees.
Thank you.
Heart the Man bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, been watching your old shows and videos. Came across your video interviewing the protesters about guns. When you interviewed these group of white people who gave you attitudes, you responded to say, why? Because I'm black? And you seem really got mad, upset. You think that reaction is and why the whites are scared now at blacks? Anyway, shout out to my boy from work, Eli. Big fan of yours too. God bless you, Jesse, and the crew. Keep doing what y'all doing.
But
All that God's work.
I wasn't mad. I was giving the liberals some of their own tea. Coffee. Amazing. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Dawn says, told it was a mine/quarry nearby and not an earthquake. Still need to forgive and be right with God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amazing. Yep. Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors, Reese Cedar Bear, Maverick Angel, Evgeny Crosby, Stan69, and Aries One over on the D Live crew, and the rest of you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
I
all.
think that may be all for now. Oh, no, there's a couple more, but I don't know. Marcus bought a copy. Today's show's been amazing.
Amazing.
Deus Intra, Psalm 144:1 of David. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle.
Amazing. Thank you.
And I think now that's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Thank you all so much. I'm glad we got through there. I appreciate it. The Hake Report is coming up now. I'll see you ladies tonight at 7 p.m. if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thursday night meeting, the first Thursday night women's forum, and Pambo, is that right?
Yeah, I think, yep, Pambo.
Pambo from Germany, David from Norway, Jaime from Minnesota, and the callers that drop. I'm out of time. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, tomorrow is open line Friday. We get as many calls as possible. Thank you all for an amazing show today. Get on the straight and narrow and stay there. If not, stay in your hell. It's totally up to you. Do the silent prayer. Go and forgive your mothers and your fathers, and your life will become amazing. Take care, folks. The Hake Report coming up, and after the Hake Report, Joy Friday. After Joy Friday, the American Anchor Baby. Take care. I know we can find a way. I know we can So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that, he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. This because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is
Yeah.
well.